for soil treatment, which could be beneficial as it may achieve the desired outcome. Laboratory tests like CBR UCS are static and don't reflect field loading conditions. Lightweight reflectometer introduces dynamic loading simulating traffic-like conditions of the single vehicle path and could be performed in a lab over a soil compacted in a mold. This provides the evolution of dynamic modular. There is lack of clarity regarding optimum RHA-DGBS ratios and their microstructural effects. Based on the research gaps and our studies, we have decoded 4 objectives for our study. The first is to develop a framework for laboratory estimation of elastic modulus, which is also known as dynamic deformation modulus or dynamic modulus of soil using LWD testing on compacted soil in the CBR mode. To investigate the effect of RHA and DGBS, individual effect of RHA and DGBS on the engineering performance and microstructural characteristics of alluvial clay soil and silty soil. To investigate the effect of RHA DGBS blending on the engineering performance and microstructural characteristics of alluvial soil. To optimize the blend of RHA and DGBS based on engineering properties of alluvial soil using the response surface methodology approach. Now first we will discuss our materials that we have used. This is the picture of the 2 types of soils we have used in our study and 2 types of wastes. One is rice cash and DGBS. One soil is clay soil and other is silty soil. These are material characteristics of the soil that we have used. And the nomenclature of the soils were, one soil was clay of intermediate compressibility and silt of low compressibility. And the DGBS and RHA were found to be non-plastic in nature. These are the chemical composition of materials which we have found using XRF test. We can see the RHA contains most majorly silica oxide and DGBS contains majorly calcium oxide. And these combination, when we do the combination of these, might result in the reaction combining calcium and silica to form calcium silicate hydrate for the substandardization. These are, this is LWD testing in mold. Here we have to ATDG on the compacted soil in CBR mold using a 100 mm plate diameter. The basic formula that LWD uses is this one. First equation. It gives the general equation for LWD testing of material. Where K is the plate factor, mu is Poisson's ratio, sigma is stress, R is radius, and delta is the deflection caused due to falling load. However, since we are doing the test in a confined mold, so we have to consider the effect of confinement for getting the modulus. So we have derived a different equation to consider the effect of confinement. We use generalized Hooke's law. As we can see, this is the stress distribution in XY in the figure, stress distribution in X, Y and Z direction. When due to falling load, there will be strain, but however, since there is confinement of steel mold, the strain in X and Y directions will be zero, which will lead to equal stresses generated in both the directions. And considering this boundary condition of strain in X and Y directions to be zero, which we put in generalized Hooke's law, we derived this equation number 5, where mu is the elastic modulus, mu is the Poisson ratio, h is the height of the mold, d is the diameter, and k is the ratio of force implied upon and resulting to the ratio of resulting deflection F by delta. We have to do the test in CBR mold that we will discuss in this slide. Previous researchers have performed LWD test on a process mold of 100 mm dia with a 50 mm load plate using a different version of LWD. However, a CBR mold having a height of 175 mm and a diameter of 150 mm was used in this study for 2 reasons. The first reason was that the regular Proctor mold's 100 mm internal dia would come into contact with the edge of LWD's 100 mm diameter plate. The other reason is that the influence depth of LWD is about 1.5 times the diameter of the LWD plate, which would require the height of the mold to be minimum of 150 mm. As a result of this modification, we had to drive the numbers of blows required instead of the usual 56 in CBR mold in order to maintain the compaction energy per unit volume that was needed to achieve the maximum dry density. As full volume of the mold was used without the use of spacer disc, that's why we had to increase the number of blows because the volume of the mold increased. Thus, we equated the energy per unit volume of both Proctor mold and CBR mold. We can see the volume of the Proctor mold and CBR mold, and to adjust the energy per unit volume of, we have to imply 79 number of blows per layer during the process of compaction. This method can also be used to assess the improvement of stiffness modulus of stabilized soil. Now we come to our second objective, to investigate the individual effects of RHA and GGBS on the engineering performance and microstructural characteristics of alluvial clay and silty soil. This is the flow chart of the methodology view. First, we collected the soil samples and determined its physical and index properties, and carried out its soil classification. Then we carried out soil binder blending ranging from 5% to 12.5%, and then conducted the various tests like compaction, UCS, CBR, elastic modulus, and then we recorded the strand development of the treated soil, carried out its microstructural and mineralogical analysis, and came to its conclusion. This was the experimental matrix, how the binders were individually added, both RHA and GGBS separately. When we performed the standard Proctor test for clay soil, we found as the binder content increased, the OMC of both RHA and GGBS soil, both RHA and GGBS treated soil increased. However, the increase in RHA was found to be significantly higher than the GGBS treated soil. The reason could be because the RHA is highly porous, so it absorbs more amount of water, increasing its OMC. MDD for RHA was higher for the same reason as the GGBS was found to be very with low specific gravity and a light density material. Similarly, the standard Proctor test for silty soil was carried out, and almost similar trends were achieved. So the CBR ratio for clay soil. With increasing binder content, the slope CBR increased up to a point, and when with further addition, the CBR started decreasing for GGBS treated soil and similarly for RHA treated soil. However, the CBR achieved for GGBS treated soil was higher, significantly higher than RHA treated soil. The similar trend was achieved for CBR of the silty soil, in which the CBR reached until a point of 18%, the soaked CBR of around 11%. Again, the CBR of RHA treated soil was less as compared to GGBS treated soil. Now we come to the unconfined soil test for clay soil. With the increasing binder content, the UCS of the soil increased up to a point of 7.5% of the binder. With further addition, the UCS started to decrease, and similar trend was obtained for RHA binder. However, the strength achieved in RHA treated soil was lower than that of the GGBS treated soil. Similar trends were also obtained for silty soil. Same results were obtained for silty soil also. The conclusion: the stabilization resulted in an improvement. The GGBS and RHA content of 7.5% gave the soil its maximum strength. The clay soil's maximum strength achieved with the GGBS and RHA content of 7.1 resulted in a significant increase in all its UCS, CBR, and elastic modulus. And similarly, there was increase in the strength for silty soil also. The development of reaction byproducts such as CSH, as shown by SAM and XRD investigations, helped increase the strength of the soil.